Hello and welcome to this special edition of the Sideline of Reunion Episcopal Conferences of West Africa, RECOA. We are looking at this very special topic today as it affects communication. And who will do better job than the National Director of Communication of Catholic Secretariat of Nigeria, Reverend Father Mike Umoh. He's in our studio today. Father, you're welcome.
Thank you very much.
Yes, recently we had the RECOA conference in Abuja, hosted by the Catholic Secretariat of Nigeria. And the theme for the conference is Fratelli Tutti, a path to building brotherhood and sustainable peace in West Africa. Coming home now, how can the media be used to project this universal brotherhood that we all share and the Pope is trying to preach to us?
Yeah, thank you. The topic has to do with building human fraternity. That is, building human community, building us into a synergy in the context of the mission of the Church. The role of the media is very obvious because there can't be community without communication at whatever level it may be. Community as two friends, community as a group of people, community as a church, community as a parish. Once there is no communication, then that community disintegrates. So, if Fratelli Tutti is about building or raising the consciousness of our common brotherhood, sisterhood, our fraternal nature as a people, communication definitely will be the vehicle to drive that. So communication is very, very, very important.
This theme can be seen to be driven by the Catholics. Some people say it came from the Pope, which is true, the encyclical, and we see the Catholic pushing it. Do you think the Catholics alone are the ones championing this cause, or do we have other people of different faiths championing this cause? Because we cannot be brothers except we all agree.
You said it. It will be unfortunate if we limit this effort to the Catholic Church, because the essence is not just about building community in the Catholic Church, it's building community in the world. The essence of the document is the Pope's effort to raise consciousness and awareness of the world. Of course, within the context of the numerous problems happening in the world, the terrorism, the wars, the hatred, the man-humanity to man, and its terrible consequences, the famine and whatever, bringing it home to our country, Nigeria, the numerous policies, divisions, acrimonies going on. They are all unfortunate. But the moment as human beings we come to the realization that whatever the creed, whatever the color, whatever our ethnicity, we are all really children of God, and we all need one another, and this world is very big enough for everyone, and we all must help everyone to grow. Instead of all this fight and wrangling and killing and what, which is not necessary. That's why everywhere is heat up now. There is war everywhere. But Fratelli Tutti is calling us to the consciousness that everyone is in the image of God and we all are brothers and sisters. So we must go beyond our shores. The Pope made that clear, that this call is not to be confined to the ecclesiastical home, the parish. We must make real conscious effort as Catholics, as Christians, to move out beyond our borders and reach out in charity, in love, in forgiveness, in kindness to everyone. And I must say the Catholic Church is really, really, really trying in that regard, because like all our social services, we don't discriminate. During the COVID time and whatever, the Catholic Church was outstandingly clear. We don't begin to say, bring your membership card before you are assisted. And I thank God for that. If everyone will try and embrace that right attitude, we will surely go a very, very long way.
There's this school of thought that believes that the Catholic Church is going into communication a little too late. Do you believe in that?
That is partially not very right.
Okay.
Catholic Church going into communication a little late.
Because the Pentecostals have been doing televangelism, and in so many ways they've been able to kind of capture the minds of people when it comes to the use of media and other productions.
Anyone who says that has a partial knowledge of the history of communications in the Catholic Church. Partial knowledge. Such person will only be speaking within the context of the digital age, which is more recent, and the church's participation. But to start with, the very foundation of the church is communication. The church has never existed and will never exist without communication. So that means where there is no communication, there is no church. Okay? Why are we saying that? This is more of the theology of communication itself. The whole of the church is about God's effort to communicate himself to humanity, and then in Jesus Christ, God sending humanity out to speak about the love of God. Jesus sending his disciples out to speak about the love of God to the whole of humanity. Go therefore, make disciples of all nations. Tell them the good, baptize in the name of the Father. Going and preach the world is a communicative act. So the church cannot exist without communication. The whole of the effort, events, and life of the church, therefore, can only be possible through communication. The Bible itself is an account of the people's encounter of how God tried to reveal himself to them. The whole of the life of the church is revelation, God revealing himself. Hebrews chapter 1 verse 1 eventually says, in times past, God revealed himself through prophets, smoke, the priest and this, but in our own time he has revealed himself through his only begotten Son. So the whole of Christianity is about God's self-revelation to humanity. And for us to continue this work, this mission, go make disciples of all nations, is only possible through communications. The church has been in the foremost line in development of communication. Of course, communication has come a long way and developed from the oral, because that was the presentation initially, the way Jesus will go and preach, the disciples will go and preach. It was at a time that they said, all these things we are saying, let us now commit it to writing. So they wrote, the church was there, oral tradition, the church was there in the days of the papyrus, writing on scrolls and whatever. The church was very much there in the printing era. Of course, we remember consequently the experience with Martin Luther, yes, and the Reformation brought up. So there was a time even the church was referred to as people of the book, the best of libraries. the church was there. So in the printing era, the church was at the very foundation of the use of radio. The use of radio. When did the church begin to slack? It was in the era of cinema, because people started using cinema. Cinema now came to be a fusion of audio and video, and people were now bringing up images that were not obscene images, that were not glorifying and whatever. That was when the church began to be very concerned and worried. In fact, the practice of censorship began with the church, that we now have a sensus deputatis of trying to ensure that any publication or production is without error, and because of these obscene images and bad use of motion pictures, the church got to a time where they now made it mandatory to their children, the faithful, to make promises not to go and promote films that have obscene images that are not glorifying. In process of trying to pick which film is glorifying, which film is not glorifying, more people and the church itself withdrew. So as far back as 1926, the church has been guiding her faithful on the right and proper way to engage with the media. But that was a turning point in the church's attitude. It was now difficult to draw the line between avoiding to watch obscene images and still embracing the media. So, and that took a long time until, I must say, more at Vatican II, much as the propositions of Vatican II did not really contain a chapter or a time for media, one way or the other, it came up so strongly, and the need for media came up so strongly, that gave birth to a document, what seems a document specifically on media and communications by the church, known as Inter Mirifica. Okay, so that gave birth to that document as one of the documents that came out from Vatican II. But the church now said, now we need to really have a document for the modern time to encourage our people, and that gave rise to the document called Communio et Progressio. So all this I'm saying is that, yes, the church has always been there, and the church cannot exist without communications, but a time in history, for this reason I've shared with us, made the church to slack a little, but the church is seriously and strongly back.
Well, talking about the church coming back to communication, I know that we usually have a particular time of the year when we celebrate Communications Day, and it's been there for some time now. But recently we've been hearing that now the Catholic Bishops' Conference are coming up with another form of media education and encouraging participation by introducing what is called Com Week. Com Week, in the sense that is Communications Week. Can you lead us through this Communications Week?
Yeah, thank you very much. First is the Communications Day,
Yes.
as you have noted, and this has been on for 56 years now. Every pope in the past 56 years, every year, and by the way, that is one of the fruits of Inter Mirifica. They need to dedicate one day to reflect on this new phenomenon of communications and media. and how it's impacting on the life of people. So through every year, in the past 56 years, the Pope has always produced a document, every Pope, a document dedicated to communications. And having produced that, that document is used to celebrate Communications Day. Communications Day has always been the Sunday before Pentecost. So far in our experience in Nigeria, it's been more of a celebration limited too much to only media practitioners. They gather little here and there, they gather with the bishop, they bless their tools, they not much impact. The major type of impact on the people, is more of their collection. On that Communication Sunday, there is what they call the Communications Day collection. In view of many things happening in the Catholic Church, in view of the many calls, in view of the context the Church is finding itself within its duty and mission, the Catholic bishops, and what are those realities? The documents of Pope Francis, like this Fratelli Tutti, the document on Laudato Si, the document on Evangelii Gaudium, and this present call for synodality in the Church, all of these in one way or the other lead to the realization that there is need for synergy, there is need for collaboration, there is need for communion, there is need for understanding. All of these will hardly be possible without a good grasp, a good understanding of communications. So the Catholic bishops of Nigeria now reasoned that with the poor culture of communication in the country, it will be difficult to realize all these purposes. So they said, okay, let us try and see how to build communication culture among Catholics in Nigeria. Build communication culture among Catholics in Nigeria. So the Com Week is what they came up with, the Com Week initiation. Com Week means Communications Week. It's a form of, it will give opportunity for media literacy in our parishes at the grassroots, because all parishes are supposed to be engaged in it, learn more what the Church is saying about communications, learn more about certain dynamics of communications. It's just the beginning, and this is the maiden edition, but that is where the bishops are going, and that's what they have in mind, that more people should know about this phenomenon that is affecting and influencing life so strongly and so seriously at this moment.
Well, it's good that the Bishop Conference have come up with these ideas. When do you think the Com Week will be coming up for this year? What are the activities that needs to be done to make it fruitful? Because this is the maiden edition.
Yeah, this is the maiden edition, and we will not pretend it will be wonderful, but we will thank God that we would have started at least. Com Week will be coming up on the 22nd of May to 29th of May. That is from Sunday to Sunday. And that 29th of May will be the World Communications Day itself. And within the week, there will be the introduction on a Sunday in all parishes throughout Nigeria. That introduction will entail enthronement of the Word, as enthronement of the Bible. The rites are there. And then on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, every evening, the faithful are meant to gather in their parish and follow a program that has been set already, a program has been set already, and there will be a booklet to that effect. But we are very aware that not very high percentage of Catholics go to church on weekdays. So how do we reach out to a good number that will not likely be able to go to church?
That would have been my next question anyway. But how will people key into this, knowing fully well that not everybody goes for morning masses, and how do you intend to key into allow people to key into this new initiative?
And that's the power of communications. So we are using a multimedia approach. While the booklet will be printed, there are over 30 million Catholics in Nigeria. So we can't even print that number, at least for now. So a special app is being developed and will be deployed. And that app will be accessible through our phones, so that families who cannot go should still have that program at home. Friends, our students in boarding schools, our sisters in convent, an individual in the office at your own time. In fact, some people may even go through the program before the end of the day, because everything will be available there on the app. And even after the 1 week, the programs are available there. People can use them for retreat, for seminars and whatever. So the material will be available on Come Week Nigeria. Come Week Nigeria, C-O-M with week, Nigeria, all written together.com. That will be the link to the app, or the name of the app.
Okay, talking about this same week, how does the dioceses and archdioceses, how would they participate? What will be their way of participation?
Yes, for dioceses, the first thing is that we've held meetings with diocesan directors of communications, and also directors of communications for congregations. They have held meeting. We've held meeting with them. We've held workshop with them. They have been intimated about the dynamics of this whole program, and many are already stepping it down back in their dioceses, gathering priests and letting priests know what is expected of them and how to run this in their parishes.
Can you let us place into the contents of that week?
Yeah, content of the week.
It's not going to be a one content thing. There may be a series of activities. What are the contents for that week, since this is the maiden edition?
Yeah, thank you. The format we followed is that every day will have its topic. From Sunday, Monday, Tuesday to Sunday will have its topic. And those topics are influenced by the theme of the Pope's message. And the theme of the Pope's World Communications Day message for this year, of course, is listen. So everything will be leading us to training and forming ourselves on how to listen, the power of listening, the theology of listening, listening to God, listening to ourselves, and all those things. And those topics are related to the readings of each day. Okay, so there will be the readings of the day. We have the topic in mind. Then there are actions that will be proposed. Materials have been provided that they will read up, both through the booklet, and at times they need to go online. All of these we have. And so basically that is the format that will be happening. But there are 10 days, there is a day dedicated to youth, where the youth will, all over Nigeria, will be expected to take a topic. The impact of social media on youth today. They are to discuss it we get what they come up with. There is a day for award. One of the days will be for award. Being a maiden edition, we're still seeing how that will work out for this year, but if it doesn't, no problem. We have program for schools. This is being mainly pushed and promoted by our directors of congregation, since they manage schools mostly. So these are some of the things, and on the final day, of course, people will gather with their bishop in the wherever they choose. Maybe it's the cathedral or wherever. So these are some of the programs. The major thing for this year is that we just want to see, let us start it. Then I'm sure we'll develop from there.
Well, as we round off finally, you are the Director of Communication. You are the #1 communicator of the Catholic Church in Nigeria. How do you think we can promote media literacy, especially in the church?
Promoting media literacy, that's what we have started. And if you ask me, I throw it back to you. A Catholic television has a very big role in promoting media literacy, not just in the church, but in our society. Media is everywhere now, but not many people understand it. That is why it's causing a lot of problems today. Look at the case, the recent trending case of the Christian school. What we should be looking at there is a lack. There is a lack of media literacy on the part of the parents, on the part of the school, and unfortunately on the part of the children. They don't understand this powerful tool in their hands and what is best to be done with it. That's why they misuse it. So we need media literacy. And if you permit me, I must say, no school, particularly our secondary schools, this should even start from primary, but at secondary school, if we have not our children in media literacy to understand the power, the dynamics of, we are already failing very woefully, and the consequences can be really disastrous. So proprietors of schools, Parents Teachers Association should be able to begin to seek assistance from social media experts who will help them in explaining, in demystifying this new phenomenon, powerful phenomenon that we are encountering.
This is a very good way to drop the anchor on this program. Thank you very much for your time. We are grateful to you for doing justice to this communication, and it's a pleasure speaking to you anytime, any day. We have been speaking to the the National Director of Communication, Catholic Secretariat of Nigeria, Reverend Father Mike Umoh, and he has been telling us about the media literacy, what media can do in the church, and how we can use the media for effective development in our society. My name is Tony Abba, and I say stay tuned to other programs on Catholic Television of Nigeria. Bye for now.
You are watching CTV